An attempt by Russian occupiers to break through closer to Konstantinovka from the south resulted in a massive defeat. The Ukrainian Defense Forces destroyed 2 large mechanized columns of the enemy near the village of Alexandro Kalinovo. This was reported by Z blogger Yuri Podolyaka, who is close to the Russian Ministry of Defense. Our troops, the 150th Motorized Rifle Division, are persistently trying to break through to Alexandro Kalinovo. There were 2 very powerful attempts to enter with mechanized columns, but unfortunately these columns were burned, the Kremlin propagandist said. He noted that the command of the Russian armed forces continues to use tactics of meat assaults, throwing their own soldiers to the slaughter. The result is obvious. The Russian armed forces' attack aircrafts are simply wiped out on the approach. Apart from large, senseless losses, we get nothing, Podolyaka complained. Recall recently, Ukraine's defense forces have destroyed 2 columns of Russian armored vehicles in the Kharkiv and Pokrovsk directions. Russian forces attempted offensive actions near Vovchansk and the Taik area in Kharkiv Oblast. Reports indicate that the enemy deployed armored vehicles to transport personnel to the Taik area. The column was subjected to fire, resulting in the destruction of 2 enemy MTLBs along with their troops. The Khortytsia Operational Strategic Group of Troops reported. Meanwhile, in the Pokrovsk direction, Russian forces attacked near Yelizavetivka, Promin, Zavirov, Petropavlivka, Andriivka, Dachne and Yantarn. Fighting continues in the Lysivka, Zeleny, Novovasilivka and Yazenov. According to the Khortytsia Group, Ukrainian defenders are effectively countering Russian attempts to exploit their numerical advantage and push forward. Russian troops used armored vehicles to try to break through Ukrainian defensive lines near Baranivka. A column detected in advance was hit with fire, resulting in the destruction of 1 tank and 2 IFVs. The attack failed, the Ukrainian military emphasized. At the same time, after a prolonged period of mostly infantry assaults in Donbass, the Russian army is returning to the mass use of armored vehicles. Ukrainian armed forces destroyed a Russian convoy near Andriivka in the Pokrovsk area. Tanks, infantry fighting vehicles and armored personnel carriers were deployed by Russia once again in an attempt to regain the momentum it had earlier this year and to compensate for the failures of mass infantry assaults. The improving spring weather now also aids this effort as the ground is suitable for the movement of heavy equipment.
Two people were killed and over a dozen injured after Russia attacked the southern Ukrainian port city of Odessa with drones overnight on Saturday, Ukrainian authorities said. According to Associated Press, a drone struck a 21-story building in the city, causing damage to 3 floors and trapping residents, emergency services said. The 2 killed in the attack were a married couple, said Odessa Regional Governor Ola Kuiper.
Ці тривоги ми обично спимо. Тут, на щастя, дитина була удару.
Ukrainian forces continue active counter-attacks in Donetsk Oblast. Fighters from the 3rd Assault Brigade carried out a successful raid operation in the village of Redkodub. As a result, a platoon of one of the motorized rifle regiments of the Russian army was completely destroyed, after which Ukrainian units cleared their positions and consolidated their positions on new lines. According to the 3rd Assault Brigade, the Ukrainian Armed Forces units were sent to reinforce the defense line near the village of Redkodub, where Russia has been increasing assault operations along the entire front line in recent weeks. Despite the pressure, Ukrainian fighters not only held back the attacks, but also went on the offensive. During the raid and strike operation, a platoon of the 283rd Motorized Rifle Regiment of the 144th Division of the 20th Army of the Russian Armed Forces was destroyed. This happened as a result of coordinated actions by fighters of the 3rd Company of the Karakurt Colony of the 2nd Mechanized Battalion. After eliminating the enemy platoon, the Ukrainian military cleared the occupied positions and consolidated their position, improving their tactical position on this section of the front. The village of Redkodub is located in the direction from which Russia may attempt to advance toward Lyman and further toward the Oskol River and the city of Izium. Lyman is of operational importance, as it controls the key crossing over the Seversky Donets River. Let us recall that in 2022, Lyman was under Russian occupation. However, on October 1st, 2022, after a powerful Ukrainian offensive, the occupiers were forced to retreat. In recent weeks, the enemy has once again intensified offensive actions in the Redkodub area, trying to regain lost positions. However, the actions of the 3rd Assault Brigade show that the Ukrainian army is not only effectively defending itself, but is also methodically driving out the enemy. Recently, Ukrainian Defense Forces also destroyed an assault armored group of Russian troops in the Yablunovka area. confirming that the initiative in certain sections of the front continues to pass to Ukrainian forces. Ukrainian Armed Forces Colonel and military expert Sergei Grabsky says that it is very important for the Ukrainian Defense Forces to hold on to Lyman in Donetsk Oblast, which the enemy is trying to bypass and occupy. According to him, the essence of the Russian operation near Lyman is probably to bypass the city and occupy it. This is for the purpose of creating an overhang over the Slavyansk-Kramatorsk agglomeration. Lyman, by its nature, is an industrial city with many technological facilities that can be used as storage facilities for weapons, equipment, and resource concentrations. That is the creation of such a logistical command hub for a further offensive on Slavyansk and Kramatorsk, Grabsky emphasized.